Hello, I'm Jo Kiminade, and today I'm talking to John Knorr, CEO and founder of the Uglii system, and Robert May, System Development Manager. And today we're talking about postal systems and how they can bring on every one of their post office branches as a dynamic affiliate into the Uglii system. John?
Yes, Jo. If I was a post office, which I'm not, I'd think this would be the highlight of coming into the system. This is exciting stuff. And Uglii's gone to a lot of trouble to get these processes right, so we can largely automate those processes, so there's not a great burden of labour on the postal system to bring them in. So we're just going to talk in fairly general terms about how those systems work and how the postal system can monitor the performance of the Uglii system in terms of finances and performances of the post offices and the sub affiliates of the post offices and so on. So there's a lot of tools in there that we've developed, and that's really what we're trying to get the message across. That this is a fairly simple process, and we've done all the thinking. Okay, that's the big message.
Sure.
Let's take the example of a postal system that's got 5,000 post offices. Obviously, building a web page for each of those but manually is a fairly daunting task and could take a long time to do. We've got automated processes, and that's really what we're going to talk about today. So how quickly the postal system, once it's signed up with us as a national partner, can implement this system and start to get the revenue benefits from the system, but also get the political benefits from the system. This is an exciting system, and just having the ability to show the world that every one of your post offices is alive and dynamic and ready for business in terms of economic growth and so on is pretty exciting, I think, and post offices should love this. Yeah.
Okay, so what's the first step?
Well, the first step is to get registered as a business, then get upgraded.
That's right, for the postal service itself to be registered and then be allocated the role of national partner in the system. And then it's simply a matter of providing the system with the information on each post office that they want to register in the system first, and then allocate the affiliate role. We have a fairly comprehensive spreadsheet if they want to provide us with lots of information, or they can just fill in a few parts of it, obviously the postal office address, and a few bits of other vital information. And it can be centrally controlled from that point on, or it can be decentralised at the local level.
Okay, so are you going to take us through a demonstration of how this is done, Robert?
Yes, we can do that.
So let's assume for this exercise that we've the post office has been registered as a business, it's been upgraded to a national partner,
yes,
and then we take it from there.
Then we take it from
there.
Yeah. Now, before I show the spreadsheet, we might just have a look at the end result and log in as an affiliate in the system.
Okay.
Okay, so just go to the affiliate control panel.
The affiliate's got its own control panel. So if I'm a post office in Italy, then
they would be
unique
looking
control
at this.
panel.
Yeah. If we just have a look here before we go any further, we've got all of the clients that are registered, all the businesses that are registered under that affiliate through the managed clients. We've got all the resources in partner support that is just a full website with some good information in it, and then the ability to pre-register businesses in the system manually if they want to do that. We might just have a look at the affiliate details and see just how a single affiliate would create the affiliate web page. Okay. We've got some two text boxes here with just information in them. We've got some contact details and an email signature which goes out as that branch. That can obviously be done as a central thing, so if they wanted to manage it at a central level, so that any contact.
So the post office.
The postal head office, or what they designate as the manager of the system. Their system.
Yep.
We can just have a look. Once we've filled in that information, we can see what this is the affiliate web page that's generated by the system. A search can be put in there, and the search area defined for each post office, and simply clicking on that makes that the default search, so that when that page loads, the visitor to that page is seeing the default search that's been put in there, or the default map setting.
So what we're effectively saying is that the local postmaster can control this information. So if he thinks his catchment is smaller or larger than what's on the map, he can control that.
Yes.
And that's very important from businesses' point of view, because they want local search and local discovery of business is terribly important for most businesses on the planet. So most business activity happens locally, and so that's very powerful.
We can also load it initially with a default setting of, say, 5 kilometres
from the
post office address,
right?
And then they can modify it at a local level. But there's a starting point is located around that particular post office.
Okay, so the postal system can be as centralised and controlling as it likes, or it can be as decentralised and uncontrolling as it likes.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, in the page that we're providing, the Uglii system is providing, there's some room for other editorial information. If the local postmaster wants to put on the football scores for the local area, he can have some editorial control of the system.
Yeah, if we go back to the affiliate page, we can see if we scroll up, we'll see we've got these 2 text boxes here.
Yep.
Now we would presume they would be pre-filled in with common information for all post offices.
Right.
But that can be handed over. Editorial control can be handed over to at the local level.
Right.
And they can simply put their local information in here. So
right.
it can replace the default information, or it can add to it.
So that way, the post office's local presentation of the Uglii system becomes more of a community hub and more of a focus of not only business activity but social activity in the town. So, okay, that's very good.
Have a look at the spreadsheet.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Now, as I said, it's a very comprehensive spreadsheet because it includes absolutely everything that that system needs. They can provide and as you can see, there's a lot of instructions for each of those fields. It includes the head office information, so we actually register the head office in the system as well.
Good.
And it gives us the branch information, which allows us to identify the manager at that point if they want to. If it's left blank, it will just say the manager.
Okay.
We also have in there the commission that it's decided that the Postal Service is going to pay down to the post office.
Okay.
Now, if they wanted to control that, they would put 0 in there, and
so
they
it's all
can
going centrally.
And that goes centrally as far as we're concerned.
Yep.
And then they can pay it however they wish to after that.
That's exciting. Yeah.
A lot of this information relates to how that post office is going to be found in the Uglii system as a business, as a post office.
Yeah, the discovery of the post office is important.
Oh, of course.
For the post office business, and then it's important because it's a centre of this new move to develop business activity in that local area. Yep. So yeah, that's very exciting. Okay, so this commission thing, here we're talking about the total commission that the postal system is receiving. And then if it wants to allocate some of that commission to the account of each of the post offices, the billing system will do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So it can be treated as revenue of the individual post office, or it can be just treated centrally as the revenue of the postal
system. So it can show up in a report
Yep.
That the system generates for them as revenue, even though it may go into a central account. That's up to them. They've got that flexibility. They can ignore that totally and just look at the activity, or they can look at what the earnings.
That's pretty motivational, isn't it? I mean, if I can see as a manager of a local post office that I've brought in $500,000 the postal system more than I had last year
Yeah.
because of this system. That's pretty exciting. I'm going
Yeah.
to feel pretty good
And
about myself, aren't I? Yeah.
You can monitor, I take it, you can monitor more than just revenue commissions. You can monitor rate of registration.
Oh,
and-
yes. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
There's a full reporting system that the national partner, so the head office,
Yeah.
receives per affiliate, so per branch.
Sure.
And furthermore, each branch it receives a report on the activity
Okay.
they've got. So it covers the rate of registrations and the rate of services being purchased and a whole range of information.
Revenue.
And the type of services, because some services may be purchased more in one area than they are in another, just because of the the type of industry or
identifies all the services in the system and
Right.
has a number based on that what's being sold that period.
Terrific.
Okay, so that ability to drill down in the billing system is from centrally by the management of the postal system. They can see into every post office's activities, and below that they can see every business's activities, on the system. They can do analytics out of all of that. They can see the whole system's performance and do analytics out of that, and they've just got a complete picture, and they can see what they're owed by the Uglii billing system. So the Uglii billing system pays every 14 days, then they can see what's accumulated in the account for them that they're going to get paid on the 14th day.
Yeah.
Okay, so so it's a pretty in-depth.
I'll be liking that 14th day.
Absolutely. So payday, yeah. We've always liked payday, but so the whole system is very sophisticated and it's always very transparent. You can't do fraud with this system.
No,
Is that what we're saying?
That's right.
Yeah. Talking about that, just and getting off the subject a little bit, in the contracts that national partners have got, they can see all of this information. Plus, their auditors can come into the system. So we give them twice a year the ability to come in and do an audit report, which they may have to do for statutory reasons. So they can come into the system when we give them access to see all the information that they need to do that report. Okay, that's just as an aside, but it's an important aside if you're managing a postal system.
Yes. So technically, you need no skills to input that information. There are also apps for smartphones, John, for pre-registration. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, Joe, they can be used by the post office itself, or they can be used by what we call sub-affiliates. So if the postal system is so inclined, it can get its staff and appoint them as sub-affiliates. So for instance, when they're out socially in the evening or on the weekend and they're talking to business owners, they can say, look, I can get you into the Uglii system very quickly, very easily, and the system will talk to you and allow you to go through the registration process.
Sure.
So that's facilities we've got. They're elective facilities for the postal system to use if it wants to use them.
Sure.
There is also a reward system, and that means that the postal system can say to, say, its staff or even third parties, you can become a sub-affiliate of us and go out and register business into the system. In an area like that's got, say, a lot of farms, small farms in it, it might be, those groups may be very unlikely to want to register in the Uglii system.
Sure.
Because they think it's not for them. But in fact, it is absolutely for them. It can save them a lot of money in their procurements and help them sell better with their output. So it's very, very important for these organisations. So somebody just travelling around to these farms and these potential businesses that should be registered in the system can benefit financially from this sort of arrangement.
Right.
So the system is very powerful. The system doesn't. The system allows the postal system to set a reward with the sub-affiliate, and we simply report the success of that sub-affiliate of bringing in that business in as a registered business into the system.
And then it's up to the post office to
Pay.
Reward that.
Yeah,
that
we don't get
sub-affiliate,
in.
however
That's
they
right.
feel.
We don't get involved in that at all because that might be an employee of the post office, or it could be
Sure.
a third party. We don't know.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's a very powerful system for for a post office manager that wants to be out there and creating new business for the post office.
And earning extra revenue.
And earning extra revenue for the postal system.
And for him or herself.
Well, yeah,
potentially.
if they're working on the weekend. So we'd recommend that this only operates after hours or on the weekends.
Sure.
So it's not in conflict with the registrations that are happening in the postal system as part of its ordinary daily activities.
Okay.
So it's a very sophisticated system. It's very easy to use. It's on any smartphone. And all they're really doing is putting in some contact details. And then the system follows up, doesn't it,
It
Robert?
sends out an email. So when someone's talking to a business, they simply say, give me a few details, take down, including the email address. An email is sent with a link, and then they complete the gaps on the registration process.
Yeah.
Simple
Right.
as that. So.
Okay.
So it's very unthreatening, and it's very easy for businesses to follow up and complete that process.
So is there anything else they need to do, or is that pretty much it?
No, that's it. I mean, as we saw, that spreadsheet was quite comprehensive.
Right.
And they can provide us with very little information if they want to, and it will still generate. We will create a username and password for each of those branches. If we have an email address for each of the branches, then we will. The system will generate an email with the username and password that's been created, so they can then start that process of localising it.
So it's very easy, very automated, and very little effort on their part.
Exactly.
Really.
Yep.
Oh, fantastic.
Okay,
That's
so the other point I think that's probably important for these postal systems are big organisations, of course, huge, and if you've got 4,000 or 5,000 post offices, they need to be able to see that each of their post offices' online presence through this system is working 24 hours a day, because business use these things 24 hours a day. So we've got a couple of monitoring options as well that the system will alert them if one of these post office presentations of the Uglii system falls down for some reason. Power goes off in the post office, whatever it may be. The central management gets alerted to that.
right.
Okay, and it can be a visual monitoring or presentation of that on a screen, or it can be an audio one, or it can be an email, whatever it may be. If there's any problems with the system that relates to a particular post office, then the system will automatically
Yeah, that's
fix
right.
it
That
up.
can be pinged every hour to see that
Yeah.
the web page is
because
up and
this
running.
is revenue. This is revenue for the postal
Sure.
system. So
Yeah.
these guys want this system operating.
Of course.
24 hours a day, because businesses work 24 hours a day. You know, they go home from their business and then they do stuff like Uglii after tea. You know, when the kids are in bed, they get into this sort of stuff. So
Right.
yeah,
Okay, that's great. Thanks very much, guys.
Thanks, Joe.
thanks, Joe.